So we are here after Gen Con. We are all appropriately exhausted.
Well, Gen Con's still going on. We just we quit early.
It's not going on anymore. We can't make it. Gen Con is officially over.
We tap out. It's over. For us, it's over.
But we had a blast, and Magic had a much bigger footprint than I thought it was going to have at the convention. So we're going to take some time and just talk about Magic the Gathering at Gen Con. Does Magic need these massive conventions now that they're kind of doing their own thing? And things that you would do differently if we made you and you
Gen Con president.
CEO of Wizards of the Coast.
Does that make
Wizards?
That does. And I am, of course, joined by Donald on my left from Scruffy Looking Gaming. If you still do it, if not, he might do YouTube, he might not. I don't know.
I mean, there's a channel there.
There you go. Let's go.
You could be part of the. You could be the 155th sub.
Donald recently bragged about how he got 6 new subscribers without making.
Without moves, I haven't made content.
Which I think is better than us.
I think that's a better turnover rate. I gotta admit. And I'm, of course, joined by my friend Louis DeGeorge from Kitchen Table TCG. You can check him out at Kitchen Table TCG on YouTube, and he does some other stuff, but none of it matters. So
that's fair.
All that matters is his YouTube. It's his livelihood. Subscribe to his channel to help feed his family. Magic the Gathering at Gen Con. What'd you think?
It's cool. It was so I had a different thought than you. I thought that it would be a much smaller footprint. You said it had a bigger footprint than you thought it was?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be small, and it ended up being bigger than I thought.
Okay, we had the same thought then.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. I misunderstood you.
That's totally go ahead.
I'm not surprised that Magic had other companies representing them here. Like they weren't running the events, it was pastime games.
Sure.
Because it's just the way it is, but we know that it is. But.
Initial thoughts?
I'm very familiar with Lucas Oil Stadium, with the convention center, with downtown Indy. Been going there for years. I usually am used to seeing the convention center completely empty.
Okay.
The place feels like just this massive place. It felt really small because you were shoulder to shoulder no matter where you went.
Everywhere.
With people. I've never seen so many people. And that was just, I don't know, a tenth of them maybe? In the convention center. And you go over to Lucas Oil and here's another tenth. And then you go out to Dick's Last Resort restaurant and there's another 70 people from Gen Con.
It's like everyone you saw from Gen Con.
I was walking one of the times that Louis made me pack mule his stuff to the car and back. There was this lady who obviously lives in the area, and was like, "What the is going on?" Right. She's like, "Why are all these people wearing these badges? What's happening?"
So, and that's kind of what I was saying with Magic 2 as a whole. There's all these people there, and it ends up being so much more massive than you think it is. Gen Con in itself. And then I expected, because I'm not the biggest board game fan, I love Magic, it's kind of my thing, but you guys love board games, and I like hanging out with you, so I was down to try some stuff. I thought for sure there'd be few and far between some Commander games going on with people who came together. No, the area was packed. The Magic the Gathering play space was packed with official events, with the on-demand events, and with just one-off play, and I didn't think that was going to be a thing, and they did a really good job with that. The other thing that kind of surprised me, and I should have seen it coming, is what you said. When we went and signed up for all of our events, we were walking around, none of it was hosted by Wizards of the Coast.
No.
They didn't really lift a finger to make this happen. It was
they made it behind the scenes. They might.
But to be fair, they don't at Magic Con.
No, they don't either.
It's all contracted out.
It shows you how big Magic the Gathering is.
Right.
That they have beneath them.
If there's money to be made by third-partying your official events.
Right, and that it's more efficient for them too, and it's probably run better. I
would guarantee it's run better.
Pastime's kind of knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
There's been some, the Lorcana DLC in Atlanta, that company whose name I can't remember right now, did not do a great job.
It's probably better that you can't remember.
Going to what you were saying about the play space. It's funny because you guys spend a lot more time in the play space than I did.
PPG.
It shows you how at this con, Gen Con, there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
There are board game players who are here for board games who have no clue that Magic the Gathering was even here. Like they never went into the TCG space. And like I didn't see anybody playing Commander, but it sounds like
I did.
there was a bunch of people.
my gosh.
And there were probably people who came to Gen Con and sat and played Commander for 5 days.
There probably
that's
were.
what they did.
Not only that, I saw a event that Gavin Verhey was like sponsoring it or overseeing it, whatever, where they took the tables and snaked them around, and there were like 32 people playing Grand Melee Commander. That game must have went on for 3 days.
I will not play a 5-person Commander.
No, and you're correct, not 2. 4 people is almost too many.
Yeah.
You should build a 60 card deck with a max of 4 copies of each card, as many basic lands as you want, and then you could play like just your friend. And it doesn't have to be competitive. You can do it for fun. It's wild. It's crazy. This event to me sparked a new idea that I think is unique to Magic the Gathering. Wow. That was almost just it.
Someone might have just
Did someone just throw the mattress out of their window? Is this the Hangover Part 2?
It's also strange that there was a giant thud and then all of a sudden, like everything
Oh yeah, I
stopped.
didn't even think
We
about
can
that.
cut it at the thud.
I know, I want the thud in the video. So the idea that's unique to Magic that I don't know if any other game has because they haven't been around for a while is there were people walking around the convention hall that were with their friends here to play board games, and their friends talked them into doing Magic the Gathering events. They hadn't played in 10 years. I played against a guy who hadn't played in 12 years.
Yeah, that is true.
He was there with his friends doing the cosplay event. They talked him into it, and he's like, I think I'm going to start collecting again. And I just gave him every foil and rare that I had that wasn't in my, like, here's your starters. And that's a unique aspect that Magic the Gathering has, and you benefit from being around for 30 years and being a game that's based around getting together and playing.
Right.
That was wild for me.
You have an event that can reignite that kind of past
100%.
nostalgia for people.
Garrett from our shop was there this weekend, and he's like, yeah. He texted me, he's like, I just signed up for a Magic event. I was like, you play Magic? No. I wanted that promo because he was trying. He was promo collecting.
Yeah.
He was trying to get. He showed me a picture of his con swag that he had, and he's like, I went 04 drop, but I got my promo.
Got my promo.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. It just leans into the, like, we get a perspective of how small TCGs are in the gaming space as a whole, but then you also get a perspective of, how many of these people have tasted or experienced Magic together?
Well, it's really hard to put that in your brain because Magic now has its own hobbies, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have to have as much of a presence from Magic the Gathering at this con because if you care about Magic, you go to Magic Con,
Right.
And maybe if you're in Indianapolis or if you also care about board games or if you've always gone to Gen Con, you do that for Magic. But it's such an interesting dynamic.
So that brings me to my next question. I want to ask you, with Magic Con being a thing, and we were there, it was a massive thing, it was huge. Does Magic need to continue to lean into things like Gen Con?
Yeah, it's no sweat off their back. They didn't have to do anything. Like,
Well, behind the scenes, they probably
I
did
mean,
some stuff.
it was probably 5 minutes of work on their part to say, hey, you guys run these events for us.
Might have been more than 5 minutes.
Man runs into Gavin Verhey at the event.
Hey, great 5 minutes of work, Gav.
Good job, Gav.
I mean, does he do anything else?
He dresses very well.
He was in a like powder blue suit.
Oh,
Good project group.
and also, can we shout him out really quick? Because every time I saw him, he was just interfacing with fans. He was on his own, grabbing a coffee for himself, interfacing with fans.
Gavin's always been very good about that.
I don't know how you do that. I would lose my mind. That's why I need you to click the sub button so we can see me have a meltdown when I have actual fans. But okay, does Magic need cons?
I think so. I think you have to be at all of them. I think that is the thing. Every one of these games is at every one of the cons, and it's still a competitive industry. And not that Magic is going to go anywhere.
No, but you have to
Magic
stay competitive.
wants to see its numbers grow as much as any game wants to see its numbers grow. And this is a catalyst. These events are catalysts for people to re-engage with a hobby of their past. And maybe your game store goes under, or maybe whatever, and you don't have a place to play anymore. Maybe Donald's game store goes under, he can't have anywhere to play.
You just told me that. What are you talking about?
He can go to Gen Con and play Commander.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think they do it.
But Magic happens in spite of Magic. Like they could not even know Gen Con existed. They did.
And there would still be people playing.
And people would still be playing Magic at Gen Con.
Yeah.
Like it just happens in spite of the whole
Right.
thing.
I think the question isn't will Magic die if they're not at Gen Con, right? Like, obviously that's not.
It's should they continue to lean into
I think this
conventions
is
that aren't there.
really, really valuable for the community, and they have done a good job at figuring out how to do a lot of it
Right.
without doing a lot of it. Maybe more than 5 minutes of work, but without doing a lot.
6.
The 5 minutes of
I'll go
work
as high as 6.
might be one of the more wild takes on this channel, and I've said some stuff, buddy. I have said some stuff. I think the idea that you're capturing and recapturing hearts of someone who has experienced your game in the past is something Magic does well, but also they have to do. We saw the timeline. We referenced the AltaFox article that at this point is, 3 years old?
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty old article, but the timeline and life cycle of a Magic the Gathering player, you play for a while, you quit, and then likely if you come back in adult life, you're there for good, right? So they need that second entry, according to at least that information. They need that second doorway back into Magic the Gathering. I wonder how many doorways were open from an event just like this that will last 10, 15 years. Because now maybe you're older, life's more stable, right? You're not going to have a kid next year and be like, oh, I have to drop all my hobbies. So I think they have to continue to lean into cards like this, not only to stay competitive in the industry, but I think the players that you gain and the fires that you reignite from something like this is way more meaningful than we would have ever imagined before being here.
Yep.
So the last thing I want to give you guys a chance to do, because I never have guests on the channel, so this is so much fun for me right now. I am beaming with it as exhausted as I am. I want to let you be CEO, Prez of Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were going to say hometown TCG.
No, you can be that. Here, you want it? Here,
It's
you want
yours.
it. All right, you're now the president of Hometown
That's
TCG.
funny. That's exactly what he did to me with his game store.
Yeah,
Like,
surprising. You can't do anything with that. If you were going to change something you did at Gen Con, how would you change how Magic was at Gen Con? And what's one major decision you make in the next year outside of the Gen Con space? Gen Con first.
So they did the big reveal of the Mystery Booster 2 thing.
Electric Boogaloo.
Which is cool, and I think they should do reveals and that kind of stuff. What they missed at Gen Con was connecting to Dungeons and Dragons. Like I didn't see any. Like it was all new product, right? It was Outlaws. It was Bloomburrow, which makes sense, right?
MH3.
But you have a massive amount of Dungeons. It's like
Dungeons & Dragons.
there was 70,000 tickets sold to this. I'm guessing 40,000 of those tickets are Dungeons and Dragons fans, at least.
Well,
Or
Gen Con was
casual fans, yeah.
Gen Con was originally
right.
started as a Dungeons and Dragons convention.
And so like to not have Baldur's Gate drafts and Commander, and maybe they couldn't do Commander decks because it's too old, but they can go get Baldur's Gate draft boxes for less than they charge for them, I'm sure. To do events like that, to bring in that kind of Dungeons and Dragons crowd, and I would like to see a little bit more. And like I didn't feel like a Secret Lair booth,
Right.
something like that, where it's not Magic the Gathering. Instead, it's just Secret Lair, and it's all these fandom things that are here at Gen Con connected to Magic. I thought would have been a big win.
Yeah, leaning into that IP, and you make a good point with D&D, because I think there's been an announcement, a D&D announcement for a new Secret Lair, and D&D Magic the Gathering Secret Lair crossover coming as part of like the 50th anniversary package that WotC's going to do or whatever it is for D&D. So it would have been cool to see a little more like bring back to there, because like you said, you do have a curated audience here.
Right.
And I wonder if that maybe isn't planned for a while, it's going to be out next year. If we see something like that next year, I'll be really interested.
Yeah.
But while your idea was good, I want to see what the 5-minute man has to say about being president of Wizards of the Coast. And is your idea just don't do anything, let someone else do it for you?
If I'm president of Wizards of the Coast, do I even know that Gen Con exists?
Yeah.
I mean,
Now, how many cocktail parties have you been to?
no.
Then probably not. No. I don't think so.
Sidney Williams.
No, she's out.
Oh yeah.
New person's
Who's
in.
the president? I don't
Yep.
Exactly.
You were a couple seconds ago. You've been ousted. Donald's the president.
So what do you got?
Oh man, if I'm just rehauling Wizards of the Coast, how long can this? I mean, where do we start?
Just for Gen Con.
I don't even play Magic
Just for Gen
anymore
Con.
because
Just
of
for
Wizards
Gen
of
Con.
Just for Gen Con.
You do.
Oh.
You just played Magic 2 days ago.
Yeah, well, and
There you go.
I literally only played Magic to play with you guys.
Right.
Like, I had no interest in playing Magic. In fact, I kind of forgot how. Like, I was trying to quest with my...
Goes to ink his...
I tried to ink my card that I didn't need, and
This is why we had to put him on the burn deck.
yeah, because I don't know how to do anything else. If I play Magic, it's Pauper, and I play...
I was
Burn.
really worried I wasn't a good enough Magic player to anchor our control position. Maybe it was the right call.
I think it was.
And maybe it was the right call. Maybe it worked out. All right, so what I'm hearing from you is you would quit Magic and play another TCG if you were the president?
I would just shut Magic down. I would just... I'd be like,
Is that because
it's
it's currently cannibalizing TCGs that you actually like?
Oh, I don't think that's true. Do they
What
know
would you do,
Lorcana
Josh?
exists?
No, they absolutely don't. I really think I would lean into the Commander aspect harder, and that's weird for me because I don't like Commander.
That's true. No.
However, and so does everybody. By the way, if you're out there, comment how much you hate this channel. I'll leave your
Louis, if you were actually subbed, you could unsub.
Yeah. Let me sub. You're using my phone, so I can't even unsub.
Well, your camera died. I would lean into the
You
Commander.
didn't bring Commander camera.
It's in my pocket. I would lean into the Commander aspect for it more because as much as I advocate for bringing back 60 card Magic the Gathering, for Commander not being the best entry point in a social atmosphere like this, where you're almost guaranteed to have a group ready to go with you, the idea of introducing Commander, whether it be with some precons, whether it be with some giveaways, give away some starter Commander decks or something like that, I think is a missed opportunity because we've talked about it. Likely, there's one person in that pod of 4 or 5 that knows how to play Commander. You give them 4 really basic, easy to understand, not powerful, no value. I don't want people standing in line to get these things. Commander decks, I think you were able to maybe reignite and respark that audience that we've seen throughout the weekend a little bit faster.
Well, you know what you couldn't do there that you could do at every single other game? A learn to play. I don't know that
But
there was a
Magic
single
doesn't
learn
mean
to
learn to
play.
play.
Right.
That-
That's what
that-
I'm. That's what I'm.
yeah.
But that's what
Everybody
he's saying.
Yeah.
Everybody
Is-
has a friend who can teach him how to play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you're gonna do like Commander starter decks, learn to play. You know, something like
No,
that.
I mean, I don't think you need to learn to play. I think you need to give it away and tell you, hey, go play Commander. Go play
Yeah.
Commander.
One of the interesting things is all those tickets give you allocation for more space next year.
Yep.
So I learned this with the sorcery stuff that like you could. So one of the reasons they probably don't do stuff like that is that it doesn't generate enough tickets to justify them using their allocated space for those things. But
Yeah, I
like
mean,
for pastime games, that's what it.
no,
Right.
but I think you could have all that, and you still have all the open space. You could also be giving away Commander decks.
Right.
Right.
Just yeah, that makes sense.
Well, there's like starter Commander decks that they did that flopped really hard.
Those
You know,
sell
yeah.
really well.
I don't want to sell them though. I just want to.
And that's what I'm
take
saying.
them out.
Just give them like they were like the welcome decks that they used to give out in stores.
Well, welcome to all of you, and thank you for hanging out. That's our experience for Magic at Gen Con. Magic at Gen Con, I would do again. I like Magic Con more because, again, that's my siloed interest. There's always something for me. But I'd come back here again. I'd even come back here with both of you guys.
Both? I can come too.
Well, you
Louis
can
did-
definitely come.
Louis didn't say anything.
Louis, maybe.
I need Louis to bring me though. This is the problem.
Oh, okay.
He's contingent on
I'd
the
come back
mic.
here.
Well, thank you guys so much. Remember to do all the YouTube stuff, the like, the comment, the share, and the subscribe. You can check him out at Kitchen Table TCG.
You can
on
unsubscribe from him right now and then resubscribe to him, and it helps his algorithm.
YouTube. Is that the thing?
Yeah. Anytime anybody hits any of your buttons, whether it's like, dislike, or subscribe,
This is why you're better at YouTube.
even hit the share button, and it's like 10. It's like
Oh,
hitting the
all
like
those
button 10
times I've been disliking your videos was actually helping you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I say things that will trigger you in the video
Oh.
on purpose.
dude, the
You are
whole
just a
time-
puppet.
You've
Dave,
been-
on our streams.
You've been blaming
the
yourself.
whole time you got to that
Not happening.
shit.
Goodbye, everyone.